Hey, this is Andrew Brown. In this video, we're going to learn about CloudFormation. Now, we use CloudFormation a lot in my courses, but I figured we'll just spend more time learning the specifics about CloudFormation. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up in Gitpod. You can use whatever you like. GitHub Codespaces, Cloud9, your local developer environment. But this is already configured to have the AWS CLI installed and credentials in, which I show that somewhere in the course how to do that if you've never done that before. But we'll get this started up here. I'm going to make a new folder in here called CloudFormation. And the idea is that we will step through the basics here. So I'm going to go ahead and type in clear here. We'll just say make dir CFN for CloudFormation, and I'll cd into that, and I'll make a new directory here, and I'll call this one basic. And so we want to make a new file here. I'm just going to say mkdir, or we'll just cd into that directory basic. I'm going to touch a file, and I'm going to first make one that's in JSON. So modern CloudFormation always uses YAML, but I figured it would be fun to use JSON because that is the original way to do it. So the idea here is that we'll need a few things. The first thing is we'll need our version. So we usually type in AWS template format version here. And by the way, if you have installed, I think the AWS tools, it will make CloudFormation a lot easier to write if it detects that it's a file. Right now it's a JSON file, so I don't think it knows that it's that. But generally what we'll do is set this to be 2010 0909. I've been writing lots of CloudFormation recently, so my memory is really good about this right now. And we'll call this, we'll give this a description. So I'll just say description. And this one is going to be called JSON example. All right, and then inside of that, we'll need our parameters, param meters, and I guess what we could do is create like maybe a bucket. Maybe the whole point is with sample bucket. All right, and so in here, I'm going to go ahead and call it bucket name. And inside of this, we'll need to specify our type. But you can see how writing JSON would not be fun. I know some people at AWS that still write JSON because that's what they started with, and they're just like, why change? I already like JSON. I'm already good at this. And I suppose that's fine, but you know, you do you, I'll do me. But we'll go ahead and we'll put a default value in here. I'm going to call this JSON example CFN, and then put a bunch of numbers here on the end. Yours has to be unique for mine, so just make sure if that doesn't work, you'll end up changing that. So we have that, our parameters. Let's go ahead and do our resources. But why would you ever want JSON, even if YAML is available now? Well, if you are programmatically working with some kind of service, it might output JSON. So it is still good that we have that option there. So that is something that I would say that we'd want to have here. Then we'll want the type. I believe that this would be AWS : S3 : bucket. That's my guess. We'll probably have to type in type right for this to work. Otherwise, that's not going to work. And then I will want the name in here. I think it's bucket name. And in order to pass this, we'll need to reference it. And so to reference it, I'll need to use a reference function. So I'll have to have brackets here, and then we'll say ref. And this is going to ref bucket name. So it's going to reference this up here. And it still doesn't like this. So it's colon expected, yeah, between here. And so this should give us a simple bucket. So now that we have that, the question is, how would we work with this? So we can, of course, I'm going to make sure this is our basics directory. It is, yeah. We could, of course, use the CLI, and we should use the CLI. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use the UI here and see what we can do. Because I want to see if we are actually allowed to upload JSON directly. So here I'm in CA Central 1. You can make this wherever you want, but I want to do this in CA Central 1. And we have some options here, choosing an existing template. And we can upload a file, and so it says JSON or YAML, so it should be able to take this file. So what I'm going to do is download this template to my local computer. You download it to wherever you want to download it to, and I'm going to upload it. So I'm just going to go and click that and select it. And I have done so here, so we have our template.json, and we'll go ahead and hit next. And notice it says invalid resource property bucket name. So the problem is that this is not correct. So how would we go look this up? I'm going to go ahead and grab that type. And we'll go over to CloudFormation here. And it'll tell us what the parameters are. And so if I got it wrong, it says bucket name there. But you know what's wrong is that I was supposed to wrap this in a properties. So that is our problem here. We're supposed to have properties here. Whoops. Properties. Yeah, allow me to paste properties. Thank you. And that's probably what my problem was here. Okay, and so that's probably going to resolve the issue. I'm going to go ahead and download this template again. And we will go over to wherever this is. So let me just go back over to here, and I will go ahead and upload that now. Notice it says template 1. That's how you know it's a newer one. We'll go ahead and hit next. And now it has an issue. Resource object must contain a type member. Well, I thought it did. So looking at this, you know what it is. The type has to be on the outside. So this goes here. And so now this is the correct file. We'll download it again. But you can see why you would not necessarily want to direct upload like this, because it's such a pain. I just selected the second template. But it's nice if you don't want to utilize anything else. Also, AWS template format version is incorrect. I probably just spelt it wrong. I did. AWS template format version. And we will download this again. Again, this is just for demonstration to show you how this works. There we go. And so we have template JSON there. I'll just say my template JSON example. And notice that we have the parameter. We could override it if we'd like to there. That would be a great opportunity for you to override it. We have tags. We have permissions. What would happen in a stack failure options. A bunch of other things down here. I rarely ever look at these things or change these things. I just go down and I go ahead and create it. So if I don't do it, you don't have to really do it either. We'll go ahead and see if this works. So we'll just wait here. All right, and so our bucket is created. So you can see that we can utilize JSON. Now, if we go over to template, it's showing it in the JSON format as that is the means to which we uploaded it. We can see our parameter here. We have no outputs, but it's very straightforward. So let's go ahead and delete this. And I just want to show you that you could take this, right? You could take this, and we could convert this over into JSON, from JSON to YAML. So just type in JSON to YAML. Use whatever site you want here. Just be careful because sometimes they throw ads at you and stuff. But if we do that, we basically get the equivalent in YAML. And this should just work. If you do not understand or worked with YAML before, it basically is JSON compatible. So the idea is that they translate over very well between the two. But anyway, so this should work. If complaining, this should be a string, but that's just more like the fact that it would just not error out like this, but that is not an actual syntactical error, so you can just kind of ignore that. It's just the YAML language there. But let's go ahead and see if this one works. So I'm going to go ahead and download this file, and assuming that our stack has been deleted, which it has, excellent, we'll go back over to CloudFormation here, and we'll create another stack, and then we'll upload the YAML file. All right, we'll go ahead and hit next, say my template YAML. And we'll go next, and hit next, and submit. And now we'll wait for this to create. Okay, so that template works. And notice if we go over to here, it shows it in the YAML format, which makes sense. So I would say that is pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and delete this file out of here. And so that is pretty straightforward there. Now, of course, you can upload your file sets3 and reference them as you create the stacks. Normally, if you use the CLI tools, they might do that intermediately. It just depends on how you configure them. But I would say that, I mean, this satisfies this part. But yeah, we will look at, in other videos, the more specifics of CloudFormation. So I would say we satisfied this very basic example here. I just, again, wanted to show you could use JSON, okay? So I'll just say CFN Basic. All right. And I will see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.